I want to show you how to lay out the apron pattern on your fabric. So again, make sure that you have it folded hot dog style, meaning your salve edges are together right here. You have your raw edges on that end, and that your fold is right here. So I laid out my fabric like this because on this end it's like two different lengths because I've cut some out of that material before, so that's fine. That's why this one is upside down. This big piece is the one that you want to set on here first, and remember that these arrows that point to the middle part of your apron are the fold, and that needs to be placed on the fold. Not near the fold or close to the fold, but actually on the fold. And then you're going to pin parallel to your cut line. So where you're going to cut out, this pin needs to be inside of the pattern piece and parallel to your cutting line. So I pin here, and then flatten this out along the fold and pin. I'm going to pin up here. Make sure you're not pulling it, because you don't want to get this right here where it's not flat. You want this totally flat and then exactly on the fold. So I'm going to pin here. Your pins have to be inside the pattern piece because you're going to be cutting. So, and I'm going to pin this here. I always pin at corners and make sure this is all flat. Pin here. Pin at this corner. I got this at Home Depot, by the way. It's magnetic. My pins, like I can almost throw it at it and it's going to go inside. Then if I have a long stretch where there's nothing pinned, I'll pin it down so that when I'm cutting accurately. So I'm going to put 3 more pins in, and then I don't need to pin over on this folded side. I'm not cutting there. So that's the first piece that you need to pin down because it is the largest. The next piece I would recommend pinning down is this neck strap where you have to cut 1. And I know these aren't printed really well and taped together wonky. The black line is the line that you're going to be cutting on, and we only need 1. If I put it right here, I'm going to cut 2. So what I'm going to do, and if you'll notice on your directions, it says to do this too. I'm going to pin it here. In fact, if you have like a white space on your salve edge, and this one doesn't because I dyed it myself, then you can use that line between the white and the color as your guide. Or if it's just color all the way to the edge and no words, you could use that to place your black line on, which I'm going to do. And then pin the ends. Make sure if you're using the edge that your black line is even along here and that it is touching the salve edge. So I can't just leave it like that. I'm actually going to pin about a third of the way up and another third of the way over here. That just holds it better for when you're cutting. It doesn't start to move like that. Then what you need to be careful about is you need to fit this on here without going over on this one. This is where you're going to have to use your tape measure, which I thought I got out. Is it under here? Oh, here it is. So if you'll notice, I just placed a pin here, and then I'm going to do so. I'm pretty good at this, so I'll purposefully not be. And what you're going to do is you're going to measure from here to the edge of your fabric, and I can tell it's on the black line, and then move up, and is it on the black line? There, and am I on the grain arrow here? No. So I know I have to move this one up, and it has to be straight. Otherwise, when you go to, once it's sewn on and all that, I'm just feeling the edge of the fabric. Yep, I have it on there. And then I would pin this the same. If you don't do it on the grain line, it's not going to look right ever. Well, so what? It's just an apron. Nope, sorry. It is just an apron. I want a really long one. But does that mean you can do a garbage job? No. Not driving over that bridge, people, if you're doing a garbage job. Oh, I don't want to be killed by your garbage planning. So I'm putting one on each side. And then the next thing that we have to do is this pocket. And for some reason, everybody wants to put it on that way. Look at this grain line. It has to go up against the selve edge. So place it on here. Do the same thing where you are going to, I just put a pin in on each side. Come in with your tape measure to feel right there, and then measure right here and off a little bit. Adjust, and then I just put 4 pins here at the corners, and you can take those pins out. And then once that's ready, if we were in class, I'd come around and check. Oof, make sure that's flat. But we're not, I can't. You're going to have to do it correctly. So don't be in a hurry. Make sure that you watch this over and over again so that you know that you've done it right. If your fabric does not fit all of these pieces on, and it's like thinner, the one that I would adjust with would be the neck edge. Like if you have to put the tie here and then you find your apron big body part is right here and there's no room for this, fold this in half, matching. I would cut it out first, cut it on the black line, and then it should fit here. And you'll place it on the fold, pin it down, cut it out that way. You should have enough fabric for that if you got the correct amount of fabric. So once you figure all that out, cut it out, and you can start with the directions.